right, right. And also they understand the value in the long play. There's no instant gratification. Like Gillian Wallow built that podcast over years.
Yeah.
So did Joe Button. I remember Joe Button wearing the same gray sweatpants every episode. You know what I mean? Now the production looks luxurious.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, it's a process. But a lot of
It's a,
people, they're not willing to just go through the grind. They're not
yeah,
willing to go through the hard stage, the
exactly.
grind to get to that place.
And I don't want to be one of those artists that like jump into the space, money grab, and then jump up out of the space. You know, like I want to really learn the space, learn from my community, and continue to figure out ways to add value to it.
Yeah. Well, it goes
So,
back to what you're saying J. Cole said to you, right? Like listen to it long enough to understand it, right? You can't just jump in assuming you understand. It's a process,
right,
right? It's a process of acclimating to a new frontier, to a new space, to a new technology. And then, like you said, being able to bring your own unique flavor to it.
hmm and it just so happens that I have music.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, I mean, because it doesn't matter how you're creating, right? First and foremost, you're creating relationships, right? Music is it's freaking magical. It's really powerful. Yeah.
Byproduct, yeah.
And it's but beyond that, I mean, it's creating those relationships, it's creating that story, and so that's why so many creators who come from different fields, different backgrounds, have a lot of unique connection when you're operating at a high level, because no matter what it is you're creating, there is this really powerful overarching connection when it comes to the creative process. It's all, in a lot of ways, it's the same.
hmm Yep, I
No,
agree.
it's awesome. Okay, so I want to like step back a bit. I love talking about kind of like where this is going. Maybe one cool thing to touch on would be, how does somebody get into the Heaven experience? We've talked a little bit about like what is it, right? We want it to be this place where you can connect better with your community, where you can connect with other audiences. There's an element of learning, entertainment, collaboration, exploration, this kind of like experimentation, right? We want it to be an open, creative space. And there's like, cool things like exclusive content. We're going to try and funnel some unique stuff into this world that's not going to be available to everybody else. How do people get into this?
Okay, it's simply like this. There's a pass that you purchase. You can get into it with any browser. You don't need any kind of special like gear, VR gear, anything like that. It's a pass that's gonna make you gonna be good for the whole year. You can get it. You don't need cryptocurrency to buy it. You can get it with a credit card. It's just a pass. That's it. That's it. And you come on in and you have an entire experience. A wellness, creativity, informational retreat. Look at it like that. It's an
Amen.
it's an escape from all of the BS that's going on in the world, and we creating our own world that harbors our peace and prosperity. You know what I mean? And it brings me closer to you because that's really what I'm looking for now. I'm not looking at speaking to the masses like I used to be able to. I have no desire to be more famous. You know what I mean? Like I want to be more accessible. That's what I want. That's like my goal.
I love that.
Rather,
Yeah.
rather it's having people in here with me virtually or having people in here with me physically in my real studio. I want to do all of that shit.
Yeah. No, I love that. That's perfect. And again, like making this simple for people because, we're trying to create something new, which oftentimes creates new barriers. It's like, oh, you've got to have this hardware. You got to know about crypto or blockchain or whatever. And it's like, we really want to simplify this because we want this to be accessible, right? We're really trying to reach everybody with this, trying to make this open to anybody who wants to participate in this experiment, in this
Yeah,
opportunity, this culture.
that's what would turn me away. Like if I found out that it was like I needed crypto or something like that, it would just turn me away.
Yeah, right. If you got to go spend several hours watching YouTube videos trying to figure out like,
Events and shit. Yeah,
yep. So
exactly.
that's awesome, man. Okay, so you mentioned that you know how record labels have to work, about the whole streaming, but a lot of people probably don't. They probably don't know what's involved in putting out music. What about that over the last decade has become more difficult putting out music the traditional way?
It's not difficult to release music or put it out the traditional way. It's just very, very unfair to the artist. Very unfair. We never got an opportunity to negotiate what those splits were going to be for streams.
Yeah.
Record labels basically got in bed with the streaming companies, made a deal with each other that they were going to license the music, and they turned around and told the artists, okay, this is what you're going to get. This is your cut. And we said, okay. And streaming was born. You know what I mean? Like, we didn't get a chance to negotiate and say, yo, no, you have to give me this per stream. We just had to accept it because it was already a conglomerate. I think that's why the Jay-Z's of the world created the titles, and you know what I mean? Because he understood how much money is in streaming and how little of it goes to the artist that's actually making the music. That in turn turns into us realizing the importance of ownership. You know what I mean? And just with Web3 and platforms like Passage, we can deal direct to consumer.
Yes.
We can come up with creative ways to get the music out there because the music is so easy to get anyway.
No, I totally get it, man. It's tough. It's got to be wildly demotivating when you know the majority of your blood and sweat and efforts are going to somebody else and you just have no control over it, right? It's not that like...
The double-edged sword, though, Lex, because I really want them to have the music.
Yeah, right.
People have the music. I want them to hear it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just...
Yes.
You don't want somebody to rob you in the process.
It doesn't just hurt the artist. It hurts the fans, right? And the fans that are the ones that are paying. And they pay because they want you. But because there's these people in the middle who, you know, God bless them, they own the infrastructure, right? They created these paradigms that are powerful and helpful, but we don't need that the same way anymore. We're shifting away from that. Now, I think a lot of these infrastructural people, they know that the decentralization era is coming, and so they're holding on tighter to this infrastructure that exists, this kind of like corporate process that's somewhat arbitrary, and again doesn't factor in as much the creator or the fan, who are the ones bringing all the value. The fan brings the cash, the creator brings the talent, and they want to connect to each other. So we have to create platforms and paradigms that allow them to connect directly without any of this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.